Hey there, Flipper Fred here. Thanks for joining me again today. As always, the links for these products will be down below in the description. Certainly would be helpful to the channel if you decide to use our links to buy it, but you know how to find these just as well as I do. I just wanted to share my experience with using this particular tool. This is one I got on Amazon. And if you haven't already seen them, I've got several videos where I go through my EDC pouches, and I have different versions. This is obviously the top opening style. I have one I usually often do with the book opening style, several different versions, but almost all of the kits that I make sure I include one of these drivers in them. And so I just wanted to show you what the package looked like. Again, the links to where I bought this on Amazon, I think it cost about $18. Originally, I had found these, and I wish I could give credit where credit was due. There are several other content creators that make EDC pouches, and the ones they suggested was actually from O'Reilly Auto Parts. Very similar, maybe even a slight bit thinner. They didn't flare out here at the bottom. However, it's basically the same shape in terms of height and width. Again, maybe not quite as flared here at the bottom, but it also did have the 1/4-inch driver down at the bottom. And at O'Reilly, they're basically the same price. I think they're $18.99. And the difference is at O'Reilly, you have to pay for the shipping unless you hit, I think, a $50 minimum. So if you want to buy a couple or a few of them, you can get them shipped for free. This is why I had to go to Amazon then and say, okay, Amazon, do you have something similar? I haven't yet been able to source something this good on Temu yet. But I'm sure, you know, with a little bit of time and effort, you might be able to dig around and find them at an even cheaper price. However, I got to tell you, this 𝗕𝗲𝗄𝗃 model is actually really good quality. It's good steel, tool quality steel. It's nice and thick around here, so you're certainly not going to break that. You may have already noticed that I prefer to get some a 2-inch extension bit, obviously magnetic on that end, so it holds the bits, and I will literally set it up like this and keep it in the kit just like that. It's still very small. Let me see if I can measure this out for you. The device itself, the wrench itself is right at, where are we at here? 84 millimeters. Let's try that in inches. 3.3 inches. And then you can add another, 1 3/4 inches, give or take, for the extension because it's halfway plugged in. So very small, very convenient. It works obviously great as a screwdriver that way. But then you can pop the bits in here. It's, I think it was 72 teeth. Yes, 72 teeth. That makes a difference. What that means is that you don't have to turn it as far to get to that click. Some of these, you'll find lower quality ones that'll go down to maybe 32 teeth, so maybe half as many teeth. What that means is that you have to turn it twice as far before it will grab and allow you to move. Where that matters is if you're working in a very tight, confined space, having more teeth means I can move that screw head or that bolt a little bit farther with each turn. It's a little easier to make it move without as much motion, because where I may not have that much motion. It obviously is fully reversible, forwards and backwards. The bits only go in one side. You can see it does flare out a little bit on the bottom side. This is the side that the bits go into. So with this extension on there, that gives me a full grip to be able to really bear down if I need the strength. I will always have at least the standard bits that come with it. These are pretty generic, a couple of different Phillips, a couple of different flatheads. You've got the square bits, which, believe it or not, I actually have a lot of use for on the RV. If you have any kind of RVs or campers, they tend to use these bits a lot. And then a couple of Torx bits, a 15 and a 20. That's a great starter kit. I will almost always add a few others, a few other different bit kits in there as well. It just depends on what your needs are. I carry, the regular hex, a more wider variety of Torx bits, maybe even a couple of extra screw drivers. I'll tell you another great tip for the EDC kits. Again, if you haven't seen my EDC pouch kits that I just showed you there, then there's a lot of great tips in those as well. But these little small sliding tins make great places to hold additional bits as well. I love those, so I put a couple of these with a variety of different bits into my pouches. Anyhow, I think I'll probably just leave it at that. This is a great tool. Again, this is made by 𝗬𝗍𝗍. They cost about $18 on Amazon. Obviously, shipping is free if you have Amazon Prime. That's what the packaging looks like. Just wanted to confirm this is, in fact, a very high-quality product. There is one that's actually even shorter than this, I think by 𝗕𝗂𝗵𝗶𝘀𝗀, I think is like the name of the company. It's kind of a strange name, but it's even shorter. My concern with that is it doesn't look as strong. Certainly would be more compact, but at the same time, it's literally maybe only 2 inches long, I think it is. It does have the 1/4-inch bit at the end, so you could put an extension on it. But I'm going to tell you, this is pretty heavy duty right here. Depends on what your uses are and what you might run into. But for me, I have enough uses between vehicles and campers and around the home where I really want one that's pretty heavily built. It's very strong, reinforced, it's thick, it's strong, it's got the extra 72 teeth in there. This is a winner all the way around. For $18, you can't go wrong. Stick an extension on that, put that in your toolkit with a set of bits. You will be absolutely happy you did. It's now every screwdriver you ever needed. You can fit them into, you can fit them into a tiny kit this size that's not much bigger than this. This would just easily go into one of these small pouches. Here's a whole different style that I've used. That's okay as a wrench, but it doesn't have the screwdrivers at the end. I mean, you can't put a bit into the end. Oop, there goes some batteries off my table. You can't put any driver bits into the end of this thing, into the end of that thing. So this is the one to go with. Highly recommended. I've now begun putting these in all of my EDC kits, and have had a lot of use for this thing between the home and the camper. This has been a big winner. And actually, the size of it was an even bigger winner. Recently, I had to work on something in the camper where, gosh, you know how, if you have a camper, you know how they hide things like in corners and around curves, and you got to reach up under into a place that you can't even see, and there's almost no space to work in. That's where this by itself became a real game changer, because it's so small. It enabled me to get into a very tight space, and those 72 teeth allowed me to get enough traction and enough turns on those screws to get them loose. So the size actually becomes a huge benefit to you as well. So highly recommended. Again, links down below if you want to try to check these out for yourself. As always, I appreciate your time. Look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thanks. Have a great day.